Not only am I going to show you how DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub are better in these categories, but I will also show you how to use this knowledge to your advantage while you're on the road. I first became a DoorDash driver about 5 years ago, and I've also been on Uber Eats and Grubhub for a while. The first category I want to talk about is pay per order. Which app is the best? I would say Uber Eats is the best app when it comes to pay per order. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a ton of $2 and $3 orders on Uber Eats from people that are not tipping. But I will say that Uber Eats has the highest likelihood to give you those huge tips. I would say Grubhub's pay model makes them the second best app here, and DoorDash, man, there are so many low tippers on DoorDash that I will have to put them last. But how can you use this to your advantage? You need to be running DoorDash because they have a ton of orders on their platform. Now, if you were only running DoorDash, you might think that a $6 order going 2 miles is going to be a great offer, and maybe that is in your market. But if you also have Grubhub and Uber Eats running, you may be able to accept a much better offer than that DoorDash $6 order. Since I have seen Grubhub and Uber Eats have a lot higher payouts, you might be able to accept something on there for $7, $8 for a very similar distance than a DoorDash $6 order. The quantity of orders is going to play a huge factor in this as well. I would say, yes, DoorDash does have the highest quantity of orders. They're going to send you the most. Let's just say you test this out for like 5 minutes in a parking lot on a busy day. You're probably going to receive a lot more DoorDash orders than you would Uber Eats or Grubhub. I would say Uber Eats and Grubhub are pretty close on quantity of orders here, just because Uber Eats seems to have more orders to offer me, but with the new deal with Grubhub and Amazon Prime, I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more orders. DoorDash, since they do have a lower pay per order, but they have a higher quantity of orders, I'd say like DoorDash is a very good baseline app for me. I can just comfortably accept moderately paying orders on DoorDash while I'm also trying to get quite a few orders from Uber Eats and Grubhub that are paying a lot more than those typical DoorDash orders. Mileage does play a big factor into which orders to accept because DoorDash, they often have mileage that is pretty low, even though their payout is also pretty low. I mean, of course, with any delivery app, you're going to get like really high mileage orders, and that's the same on Uber Eats and Grubhub. But with DoorDash, the typical order is relatively short. Uber Eats will sometimes decide to send you ridiculous mileage, and of course you're going to reject those if you got a $10 order going 30 miles. Of course you're going to do that, but usually you are pretty close to that pickup location if they send you the offer. But on Grubhub, sometimes they can send you an offer that's like 7 or 8 miles away from your current location just to drive to the pickup location. And then it's probably going to be an extra like 3 or 4 miles to get to the customer. Now, of course, you don't want to accept orders like that, but that actually happens quite frequently on Grubhub. So it may be annoying to keep running Grubhub when that's all you've been getting, and that's why they are third place on the mileage category. Pickup times are a huge factor if you are choosing to favor one app over the other. If you don't like waiting in restaurants, I would recommend going with Uber Eats for a lot of your deliveries if you can get away with that in your market, if they have enough orders for you. It's somewhat rare that I would be waiting more than 5 minutes in the restaurant before I receive the order. I think Uber Eats is really great with this. I think DoorDash is also relatively good, but there are more instances where I'm waiting like 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes for a DoorDash order. And of course, I am only accepting offers that I believe will have the order ready or close to ready because I just know my area so well. I know which restaurants are going to make me wait and which ones will probably have the bag just sitting there on a counter waiting for me to pick it up. Grubhub, I do believe that they have improved the pickup times for drivers. I believe that it is so much better than it used to be, but I still think they need to do a lot of improving before they catch up to DoorDash or Uber Eats. So if you don't like waiting in restaurants, maybe don't try to favor Grubhub as much. However, Grubhub is amazing when it comes to transparency. They want their drivers to know exactly how much money they're going to earn for a single trip. I think that's so great because DoorDash and Uber Eats decide to hide tips from their drivers. They don't steal tips, but they hide them. Let's say like DoorDash, you get an order for $6.50 going 2-3 miles. Sometimes the payout can come in after you deliver it and they say, oh, you actually got $8 for this one. And you're like, well, I thought I was accepting a $6.50 offer. No, you actually accepted an $8 order, but DoorDash decided to hide the tip from the drivers to incentivize more people to take more orders. Uber Eats does the same thing with hiding tips, but it's a little bit better in that aspect than DoorDash. However, Uber Eats decides that if you don't accept the last 3 out of 10 trips in my market, for me specifically, they are not going to show me the restaurant and the drop-off location, so they are definitely worse than DoorDash in that aspect. But Grubhub, number one, because you know exactly how much you're going to make, and it's never going to be more than that, it's never going to be less than that, unless the customer decides to tip after the delivery. That's only happened once to me in, I don't know how many deliveries I've done, like 300, 400 of them, and that's happened once. So you're probably just going to receive the exact amount that you saw when you accepted the order. If you like convenience or ease of use on the app, you might want to look at how the app is laid out and their functionality. Uber Eats would be the best app in my opinion. I believe they do such a good job just because I think they've been around longer than the other two. They know how to make a good app and make it useful for drivers because like the pickups and drop-offs are pretty seamless. I like the interface of the app. Grubhub, I don't like it, but I would have to put them number 2. I mean, it's like really clunky. I don't enjoy using it. I believe you have to tap way too many buttons. You have to swipe too many things just to get through the orders. But DoorDash, the app crashes all the time. Like, it's so ridiculous how often that I lose connection to the app. I have to force close it. And then that's not even like mentioning like the crashes, like the true crashes, like nationwide, where customers and drivers cannot use the app to complete the orders or get their orders delivered. So DoorDash, like the app is actually like pretty decent and like how to use it, but it just has far too many crashes. Like I cannot put that ahead of either of the other 2 apps. If you want your delivery driving experience to be a little more stress-free, then you might consider how much time you have to accept orders. DoorDash gives you 45 seconds to accept an offer that they give you. And for stacked orders, they give you 90 seconds. This is a lot more time than the other apps give you. Now, Grubhub doesn't tell you exactly how much time you have to accept orders, but I believe it's somewhere around like 30 seconds. And you have to click multiple buttons just to get to the offer screen, and so like it'll already waste like 5 seconds every time even getting to the screen, and the offer might be gone before you even like get to see it. Using Grubhub is actually a lot more stressful than using DoorDash because you can see exactly how much time you have left. There is a timer, you can watch it count down all the way to 0, and so you know how much time you have to think about the offer, see if it's worth it for you, maybe get another offer from a different platform, and then decide between the 2 which one you're going to take. And you can see how much time you have on DoorDash. With Grubhub, you can't see the time, and also with Uber Eats, you can't see the time. But they have a little bar that runs down and tells you like how much time you have. Even though that bar doesn't work all the time, like I still think that it's helpful on Uber Eats. But with Uber Eats, I believe you only have like 15 seconds to make a decision, maybe even like 10 seconds. And so you really have to be quick on the acceptance screen, and that may be a little more stressful than you would like. So if you're one of those drivers that are stressed out on the road, I mean, like driving itself is stressful, and then you also have to worry about picking up food and dropping them off at locations and doing that multiple times an hour. I mean, that is stressful. So if you want your app to be stress-free, I would definitely go with DoorDash. Favor that over the other 2. You're probably not going to be doing this until the day you retire, unless you are already getting close to retirement age, and that's great for you. But if you care about how good the company is performing and their long-term outlook, maybe you want to choose a delivery platform, maybe favor that more so that you have the most experience on that one in case they outlast all the other platforms. I would say DoorDash just for food delivery, restaurant delivery, they have the best outlook right now, just because like they have a huge majority of the market share for restaurant delivery. Uber Eats is a very close second just because Uber is such a powerful company. I don't think either of those are like actually profitable right now, like bringing in more money than they're spending on like advertisements, marketing, and just trying to acquire drivers. But those two companies are pretty solid. Now, Grubhub, I could get into this and I have other videos about this, but Grubhub, I just think like at any moment they're just gonna go bankrupt. But it's still a decent platform to drive for. So like, I don't care about it that much that they are not really a great company, because I'm really looking at delivery driving. When I go out on the road, I'm like, all right, today I can make good money on Grubhub. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm also mastering the other two apps in case Grubhub just disappears one day. Hopefully my ranking of these 8 categories can really help you choose which apps you may or may not want to favor while you're out on the road. Of course, use all 3 apps to your advantage to make the most money that you can. If you want to watch another video that can help you take tangible steps into making more money on the road, watch the video right here. Thank you so much for watching this one. I'll see you next time.